Hey everybody, welcome to another quick save review with me, RC. Today, we are playing OMNO, as in, hopefully after this video you won't be saying, I'm now gonna play that. Alright, it's all I got for a joke here, guys, at the beginning. Regardless, OMNO is a brand new release 3D platformer, and it's on Game Pass, that's how I played it. And, believe it or not, normally in these quick save reviews, I'm usually showing off a portion of the game, probably a portion I've already played, and I've only played a portion of the game. Normally, you know, in the 25 to 50% range, somewhere in there, and I give you my thoughts on it so far. They're impression videos, you know? But with OMNO, I had such a fun time with this game, I've actually already finished it. Now, that is to say, this is a short game. I think it only took me about, if I had to guess, like four and some change hours to finish. But I had a lot of fun with it regardless. It's sort of a casual platformer with puzzle elements in it, and I'll show you what I mean as we get into it right now. We'll start at the teaching here. Yeah, we'll overwrite our save game here, because I have completely finished this game. I got 1,000 points for the achievements here on Game Pass. I played through the whole thing, got all the abilities, all that good stuff, and I just had a wonderful time with this game. I think it's cute. I think it's got a good style to it. And believe it or not, it was created by one person. I believe he or she lives in Germany. And made this whole game. Kickstarted it, put it on Game Pass. I think that the art style for some of you may turn you off, but I think it's quite cool. It's got sort of like a throwback, you know, maybe say like PS2 type of look to it, you know? Like PS2 era gaming look to it. So here you go. You play as this little guy here. You do gain more abilities as the game goes on. At the very beginning, you can't do much besides jump. Those are your checkpoints, obviously. And this little green guy that flies around, he's sort of your... I don't know if you want to call him your guide, your friend, whatever he is. But he kind of shows you around and gives you hints as to what you need to do. I thought that this was a really nice reveal the first time I saw it. Turn up the volume here a little bit. The volume in this game is a little all over the place. It's got really nice music, but sometimes it can be very quiet, and then other times it kind of like does an orchestral swill where it's really loud. Alright, so basically what you're doing in this game is you're getting from point A to point B through these different environments. There's lots of different little things to collect, and you got to solve the puzzles in order to collect them. You're only really required... See, that was very loud. The only thing you're 100% needed to require are 3 of the little spheres to get through the level, but there's usually more. There's usually, what, like 5 to 6 of them, I think, in each one, would be my guess. So this is where you get one of your first abilities here. You could jump, you could dash over. Eventually you get things where you could use your staff for different abilities like floating through the air, that kind of thing. In addition to the spheres that we're going to be getting, you also can collect these little boxes here. These will unfold like part of the backstory to what's going on. The story of this game is not really much to write home about. I like this game a lot for the mechanics and the art style. The story is kind of just like a lot of like, you know, it's sort of just ambiguous lines and that kind of thing. I think some people are really going to dig it, other people not so much. Me, you know, take it or leave it. But the game itself, I think, is worth playing. So, first things you got to do, most of these levels, is you want to run up to these little circles here. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you kind of a lay of the land. What's going to happen is it'll scan, and then at any point, it'll give you clues to where things are that you need to collect. So, for example, now we can hit the Y button on the Xbox controller, and you get this nifty little map, and every circle, obviously, is a sphere we need to collect. And we need to collect at least 3 to get through to the end. There's also an animal or creatures tome there. So if you run into any of these creatures here, you'll say new journal entry. And these are frummers, none too agile but bearing enough stamina to fly over a continent without rest. One of the fun things to do in this game is to run up to all the creatures and to interact with them. So for example, like I can run up there with my staff and you can collect those little white things. I forget, I don't even know if those have a name. I'm sure they do. I forget it off the top of my head, but they're little power crystals, you know what I mean? You're collecting the power crystals and you're using those to get another sphere, which we'll try to do here. Alright, so here's a real easy peasy sphere. Boom, got it. That is going to run its way over to the obelisk thing, and you can see over above my head there, we got 1 of 3. So again, like I said, you don't need to collect all of them in the level. I went through and collected all of them in the level because it's sort of like part of my playstyle with 3D platformers is I try to get everything in the level. So that is what I did. I don't know if we'll do that here. We'll see how this goes. I don't want to spoil everything for you guys if you plan to play this. Oh, we got another journal entry for the flumes. The flumes are these little like tadpole looking things that hang out in the air. It's hard to collect their crystal, that's for sure. There's our little green guy floating up there. He's letting us know, like, hey, there's a thing up here that you can get to. Yeah, we can collect another one of these. So these boxes that have lore in them also count towards your 100% completion status for each level. So you got to make sure you collect all that. I believe the animals do too. Let's see, we're at 41%. Let's go discover these guys. These guys are called... Oh, they run away. They're shoobs. They're scaring the shoobs away. How dare us, right? Yeah, so that did count. We went up to 47%. So you gotta discover all the animals. You gotta collect all the little lore cube things. And you gotta collect all the spheres. But to just progress through the game, you only need to collect 3. Now here's this thing. Gather more energy. Those white things are just called energy. What I call them, power? What's the difference, right? Power, energy. I have the power. I have the energy. What sounds better? I don't know. But regardless, you have to collect enough energy in every level to get that sphere. You can get that by, you know, knocking around the little enemies a bit. You can find little flowers to knock and collect it that way. There's a lot of ways to collect it. It'll give you a clue and let you know once you have enough energy to get that sphere as well. Alright, so to get this sphere, you'll see like, oh, we can't really dash up to that one. This one is easy to get to, as long as you know what you're doing here. These things only rise when you get close enough to them. Oh, there we go. I really like the dash effect. I think that's such a cool effect. It leaves the kind of like ripples in the air like that. I think that's such a cool look. Oh, we can go discover another creature down over here. I'm just trying to get me some energy, you know what I'm saying? Lumabees. Now, this level is not too tough, but there have been some levels in this game that I sat there for a while trying to figure out what I was doing. I've seen people online say that this game only takes like less than 2 hours to beat, but I gotta disagree, because if you're playing it legit, if you're playing it without an FAQ and without a walkthrough in front of you, then you're gonna get stuck in some places, that's for sure, because I know I did. And I had fun the whole time, though. I think there was only one thing that I was just like, how in the hell do I get that sphere? It only happened to me once. Oh yeah, you have these little crab guys, too. Boom. There we go. See, now we have enough energy to go collect that sphere. It gave us that little sphere icon. It gives you a little bit of a speed boost. Yeah, so as far as abilities too, you get the ability to surf on your staff, so you can surf around the surface to get around a little bit quicker, especially going downhill. You get like a float ability with your staff, which is pretty fun to use. There we go, this is our third sphere. And guys, I think that what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and just pursue through the game and get to the end of this level. I don't think we're going to try to get every sphere. I'll leave that to you guys if you decide to go play it. I fully recommend playing this one. I think it's great. As I was saying about the length of the game, though, I could see this game taking you less than 2 hours to beat if you are going for bare minimum, but I do not suggest doing that. I don't suggest going for bare minimum on these. challenge yourself, go after, because this level, getting these spears, easy peasy, like not hard at all. But once you get to further into the game, like challenge yourself, feel free to get yourself, you know, into those levels and get yourself into a position where you could, you know, figure out those harder to reach spheres, because you will be much more satisfied with the game. That might be one of the only things that I'm not the biggest fan of the game, is that like it's almost too easy for people to skate by. But if you are going for the 1,000 achievements or full achievements on Steam, whatever it is you're going for, you're gonna want to you know, get everything anyway. So, which is what I was going for. So this is pretty interesting. Whenever you gather your 3 spheres, this obelisk over here, you'll see, will fill up with the 3 lit up. Look at that creature up there. You eventually get to like hang out with some of these creatures you see in the far off distance too. It'll activate this thing. So what we got to do here, you know, you'll see like, oh, do I need to jump on this thing and then dash over? Well, I guess it's one way to do it, but if we do that, we can't really reach that one up there. So you saw me sort of playing around with the cubes that were over there. So what we're going to do is move this the opposite way. And we are going to jump up. Oh! Might be one of my only gripes with this game, and I'm not even really sure I would call it a gripe, but the jumping takes a little bit of getting used to. And I feel like that was sort of like on purpose, because this kid, you could tell, is like, doesn't seem like a very athletic child, right? So, you know, he's probably doing his best to jump around and that kind of things. But sometimes the control of the jump, like, it feels late. Like, sometimes I'll get to the edge of something, I'll hit A and he'll fall. And it really annoys me because I'm used to, like, more, like, precision jumping from playing platformers for so long. Not a huge deal. Like, once you get used to the feeling of it, it's not a big deal. But it comes into more of a pain in the butt when you, later in the game, have to use the float ability to solve puzzles. And sometimes controlling him while he's floating can be a pain. Again, like I said, not a huge deal, like, once you figure it out, and it's not like there's a huge penalty for, you know, not nailing a jump or a float or something like that. Like, you know, it's not gonna ruin your day. You don't need to start over from scratch or anything like that. Here we go, let's hit this. Okay, we now have some bricks. Like, if we fell down that hole right there, all it's going to do, it's going to keep all of our progress, but it's just going to start us back at our last checkpoint. And that's really all it's going to do. It's not that big of a deal. But it can be sort of annoying when you're like, why can't I move this guy over to the left a little bit? Like, you know, it happened to be a couple times in the game. Not, like I said, not usually a big deal, but it has happened. We're going to leave it 76%, even though that, oh, here we go. Actually, speak of the devil, that's the last checkpoint we hit, so now we just got to make this jump again. No lives, no real penalty, so not a big deal. But as much as it hurts my heart, we are going to finish this level at 76%. I would normally go back, do the 100, but here we are. Alright, let's jump over here. Get that save. Then we're going to get this nice little cutscene. And is this a boss battle, you might ask? Absolutely not. This game is super casual and laid back. I love it because of that. Don't get me wrong, I love games with combat and whatever as well, but it's nice to have a change of pace where it's like, no, it's just about collecting and meeting these creatures. So, in the game, you were going to ride, I think it said 6 different legendary beasts, and what happens basically is these big honking beasts show up to take you to your next destination. You can see some of them over there walking, which is pretty cool. I love all these, like, fantastical creatures that are in the game. They're very fun. This one's gonna march us right over to where we need to go. Thanks, beast. Almost seemed like those two were like bowing to the other one for a moment there. You are the tallest. We bow to you, tall one. So here we go. He takes you to where you need to go. Not sure why we're going there or what's actually happening. but it's a beautiful little game, and I really dig it. And that's a checkpoint there, guys. I'm going to leave the rest to you to check out and play. But this gets a full recommend from me, mainly because, you know, even if the story's not great, the gameplay itself and the art direction is really nice. And it's a short play. You know, if you're just looking for a game that'll take you like a couple nights to play, you know, maybe even one night, depending on how free you are going to be able to do that with OMNO. So don't say, I'm not going to play that. Definitely say, I'm going to play this, because it's pretty good. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And of course, I'll see you all next time.